The corporate organization structure. Corporate structure refers to the organization of different departments or business units within a company. Each of the departments usually performs a specialized function while constantly collaborating with each other to achieve corporate goals and values. Corporations can have many structures. Okay, and this is an example of a corporate organization structure. Again, corporations can have many structures. Okay, but this is the most common one adopted by most of the corporations. Okay, so at the top of we have the shareholders. Now the shareholders elect the board of directors. Each share held is equal to one voting right. So one share is equivalent to one voting right. Since the board of directors is elected by the shareholders, their responsibility is to carry out the objectives of the shareholders. Okay, so what's the objective of the shareholders? Okay, that's maximize their wealth. Okay, so again, the BOD, since the BOD is elected by the shareholders, the board of directors' responsibility are to carry out the objectives of the shareholders. Otherwise, they would not have been elected in that position. Now, the board of directors is the highest policy making body in a corporation. The board's primary responsibility is to ensure that the corporation is operating to serve the best interest of the stockholders. Okay? So the board of directors have to ensure that the corporation is operating to the best interest of the shareholders, because again, the board of directors are elected by the shareholders for the objective of maximizing their wealth. So among the responsibilities of the board of directors are setting policies on investments, capital structure, and dividend policies, approving company strategies, goals, and budgets, appointing and removing members of the top management, including the president, determining top management's compensation, approving the information and other disclosures reported in the financial statements. Okay, so the board of directors appoint the president or the CEO. Okay, and the president cannot do it alone. That's why the president has VP for marketing, for administration, production, and finance. Now, let us discuss the roles of a president or the chief executive officer or the CEO. The roles of a president in a corporation may vary from one company to another. Among the responsibilities of a president are following. First, overseeing the operations of a company and ensuring that the strategies as approved by the board are implemented as planned. So the president serves as the overseer. Okay, macro managing, performing all areas of management. What are the areas of management? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, and representing the company in professional, social, and civic activities. Okay. So although the president carries out the decision making for all functions, it would be difficult for him or her to do this alone. The president cannot manage the company on his own, especially when the corporation has become too big. To assist him are the vice presidents for different functional areas. So what are those? Finance, marketing, production, and administration. Now, let's start with the responsibilities of Vice President for marketing. Okay. So among the responsibilities of VP for marketing are first, formulating marketing strategies and plans. Directing and coordinating company sales, right? So they have to coordinate with the company sales. Okay. Because if the sales of the company is good, is increasing, that means that their marketing strategies are effective. Performing market and competitor analysis. In order for the business to stay in the market, they have to know their competitors. That's why they have to make a competitor analysis. They have to know how the market performs. Analyzing and evaluating the effectiveness and cost of marketing methods applied. So, of course, the marketing department should not only make marketing methods, okay? So after the marketing methods have been implemented, they should analyze and evaluate its effectiveness. Okay? Conducting or directing research that will allow the company identify new marketing opportunities and promoting good relationships with customers and distributors. So these are the responsibilities, among the responsibilities of VP for marketing. Now let's move on to the production. So the following are among the responsibilities of VP for production. Ensuring production meets customer demands. Okay. Identifying production technology or process that minimizes production cost and make the company cost competitive. Coming up with a production plan that maximizes the utilization of the company's production facilities and identifying adequate and cheap raw material suppliers. All right? Because take note that the objective of the corporation is to maximize the shareholders' wealth. And one way of maximizing shareholders' wealth is minimize production cost, maximize utilization of the company's production facilities, and identify adequate and cheap but quality raw materials. Okay, now the responsibilities of Vice President for Administration. First, coordinating the functions of administration, finance, and marketing departments. Assisting other departments in hiring employees. Providing assistance in payroll preparation payment of vendors, and collection of receivables, and determining the location and the maximum amount of office space needed by the company. Okay, so what are the functions of VP for Finance or CFO, Chief Finance Officer? Okay, so the CFO or the VP for Finance has four functions: financing, investing, operating, and dividend policies. Okay, now let's start with the financing. Financing decisions include making decisions on how to fund long-term investments, such as company expansions, and working capital, which deals with the day-to-day operations of the company. So what are the day-to-day operations? Purchase of inventory, payment of operating expenses, and so on. Okay. So the role of the VP for Finance is to determine the appropriate capital structure of the company. Okay. So, how much should be the liability? How much should be the debt? So, capital structure refers to how much of your total assets is financed by debt and how much is financed by equity. Okay. Now, let's move on to the investing. Investments may either be short-term or long-term. Okay. Short-term investments, okay, plan for expected excess in cash using financial planning tools such as budgeting and forecasting. Okay. And choose which type of investment should it invest in that would secure the best profits. So long-term investments, long-term investment should be supported by a capital budgeting analysis, which is among the responsibilities of a finance manager. Okay, so capital budgeting analysis is a tool to assess whether the investment will be profitable in the long run and will be profitable in the long run. So that's for the investing. Now, how about the operating? Operating decisions deal with the daily operations of the company. So the role of the Vice President for Finance is determining how to finance working capital accounts such as accounts receivable and inventories. Okay, so that's for the operating. So the uh, key here is deal with the daily operations of the company. Now, the dividend policies. Okay, so cash dividends are paid by corporations to existing shareholders based on their shareholdings in the company as a return on their investment. Some investors buy stocks because of the dividends they expect to receive from the company. So non-declaration of dividends may disappoint these investors. Hence, it is the role of a financial manager to determine when the company should declare dividends. Okay. But take note that before a company may be able to declare cash dividends, two conditions must exist. First, the company must have enough retained earnings or accumulated profits to support cash dividend declaration, and the company must have, of course, cash. So how could you pay dividends if you don't have cash. So that is important. All right. Okay, so that's all for the structure of the corporation. Thank you for watching the video and for listening. Okay.